Okay, sorry for the delay. I'm Prachyabrued from Mahidol University, Thailand. I'm going to talk about a stress-inducing virtual environment for training of pre-hospital healthcare personnel and the potential impact of an emotional connection factor. Pre-hospital emergency healthcare personnel, such as emergency medical responders and emergency medical technicians, are responsible for finding and taking pre-hospital care of emergency patients. They are a key factor for the survival of patients. The stress involved in their work can affect their performance and can lead to mental symptoms and illnesses. There is increasing evidence of medical personnel suffering from stress. Stress inoculation training inoculate individuals. Oh. I don't know how to, okay. Cancel, escape, oh. There you go. Okay. Okay, sorry. Oh, again? I can move my mouse too. Oh, okay. Okay, stress inoculation training inoculates individuals to potential stressor by letting them practice stress coping skills in a controlled, stressful environment. SIT has been studied in several contexts, such as training of soldiers, pilots, and goalkeepers. A literature review showed no previous work investigating SIT of emergency personnel. Storytelling in virtual environments has been used to engage users and elicit intense emotional responses. Our work applies Hollywood style and interactive storytelling to create a stressful training scenario. Prior work suggests the possible utility of an emotional connection in inducing stress. For example, doctors who were closer to patients found their deaths to be more emotionally powerful. We explore the previously untested impact of an emotional connection. Our contributions include the design of a stress-inducing virtual environment to support SIT in the new context of emergency personnel. An experiment showing that the environment successfully induces stress and positive sense of presence. The experiment also showed the potential impact of an emotional connection. A subject group engaging in an initial friendly conversation with a virtual coworker to establish an emotional connection has higher physiological stress levels and more occurrences of behaviors reflecting presence than a group with no such conversational engagement. Okay, a video. Oh. Okay, no sound. Okay, I see. Okay, let me go back and do it again. Okay. Ooh. Okay. A trainee role-plays a first-time emergency medical responder on a rescue mission. The two monitors display the trainee's view and live physiological sensor stress measurements. The trainer uses the context menu to trigger story-related events and to choose conversational dialogues for virtual characters. The story follows the three-act structure commonly found in movies and video games. The setup act that I'm showing right now establishes main characters and portrays the current situation.
สวัสดีจ้าสวัสดีครับพี่ชื่อสมณีนะแล้วเราล่ะชื่ออะไรชื่อพอครับชื่อเพราะจังเลยอีนี่พี่ได้รู้จักเลยครับพี่ได้รู้จักครับตื่นเต้นเหรอนิดนึงครับครั้งแรกก็อย่างนี้แหละไม่ต้องกลัวนะพื้นที่โอเคตอนนี้เกิดเหตุแก๊สระเบิดในตลาดยังไม่รู้ว่ามี7 กี่รายไม่ต้องตื่นเต้นนะตั้งสติทำตามขั้นตอนทวนอีกครั้งนะขั้นตอนคือประเมินความปลอดภัยของที่เกิดเหตุประเมินความปลอดภัยของผู้ปฏิบัติและส่งเครื่องป้องกันตัวเอง
confrontation act has trainee solve a problem. In this case, triage.
เรามีผู้บาดเจ็บ3 รายริวขอโรงพยาบาลเพิ่มเลยค่ะได้ครับส่วนเรากรองอาการผู้ป่วยพี่หน่อยนะเรามีผู้ป่วยถูกไฟไหม้อาจต้องรีบช่วยเปิดทางเดินหายใจผู้ป่วยขาขาดใต้ระดับเข่าอาจจะต้องรีบห้ามเลือดและผู้ป่วยทารกมีแผลใหญ่ที่หน้าท้องตั้งใจฟังนะตอนนี้เราส่งผู้ป่วยกลับโรงพยาบาลได้คนเดียวจัดลำดับความสำคัญของผู้ป่วยแล้วบอกให้พี่เขาช่วยพาขึ้นรถเลยดูแล้วน่าจะยังมีคนเจ็บข้างในอีกอ่ะพี่จะเข้าไปเช็คดูหน่อยเดี๋ยวพี่รีบออกมานะครับ
And the Resolution Act has trainee experience the main tension of the story, leading to a conclusion. And to investigate an emotional connection factor, we have a variation of the setup act that includes no initial friendly conversation. The senior EMT sits quietly for 60 seconds before briefing the trainee about the incident.
ตอนนี้เกิดเหตุแก๊สระเบิดในตลาดยังไม่รู้ว่ามีเจ็บกี่ราย
We conducted an experiment to understand the stress-inducing and presence qualities of our approach, including the impact from an emotional connection factor. 60 subjects participated and were divided equally into 2 groups. The EC, or emotional connection group, engages in the initial friendly conversation with the senior EMT to establish the emotional connection. The NE, or no emotional connection group, included no such conversation. We use heart rate, galvanic skin response, and self-rating to provide both objective and subjective stress measurements. For presence, we use presence questionnaire and observation for specific behaviors. Due to time constraints, I only briefly mention present results in this presentation. And this plot summarizes GSR results. Before the virtual experience, the experimenter asked subjects to close their eyes and relax for 90 seconds. We refer to GSR data collected during this period as belonging to the baseline session. We classify GSR data collected during the virtual training scenario as belonging to the training session. In both EC and NE groups, there was a statistically significant increase in GSR level from the baseline to the training session. The percentage change of GSR level was significantly higher in the EC group than in the NE group, 135% versus 54%. HR results were consistent with GSR. Each subject rated their stress twice, one before and one after the virtual experience. The rating score of 1 indicates no stress, and 10 indicates the maximum imaginable stress. Score collected before the virtual experience belong to the baseline session. Score collected after belong to the training session. In both EC and NE groups, there was a significant increase in self-rating score from the baseline to the training session. Percentage change of self-rating score from baseline to training was not significantly different between the two groups. And the results suggest that our virtual training scenario induces stress in subjects, which provide the controlled stressful environment requirement of SIT. We ask subjects to explain the cause of their stress. The most common responses point to the following scenario elements: making a decision on who to save, the unexpected explosion, witnessing injuries and blood, and the death of the senior EMT. A small number of comments point to other possible factors, such as unnatural touch-based navigation, motion sickness, and the HMD weight. The result also show that the induced stress level is higher with subjects exposed to the emotional connection factor, potentially suggesting an impact by an emotional connection. The most common subject explanation related to their triage choices provide a possible explanation. The emotional attachment to the senior EMT complicates their decision on who to save, which is reported to be a cause of stress. Also, the death of the senior EMT is reported to be a cause of stress. Consequently, it can be expected that the stress level is higher in subjects with the added elements of establishing emotional connection. Okay, we do not detect a significant difference in self-rating score between groups. Possible explanations include participant bias, different subjects interpreting the skill levels differently, or the rating being post-immersion, which may not precisely reflect the actual stress level. And please see the paper for additional results. Mainly, the environment also produces positive sense of presence. Okay, and additionally, subjects with the emotional connection factor exhibit more occurrences of behavior reflecting presence. In conclusion, we presented a story-driven virtual environment which provides a controlled stressful environment requirement of SIT in the new context of emergency personnel. We show the potential impact an emotional connection factor might have on the induced stress level and presence. A full SIT consists of 3 phases. First, it educates a trainee about stress and its effects. Second, it teaches relevant stress coping skills. And third, it lets the trainee practice the skills in a controlled, stressful environment. Our work here focuses on the third phase. In the future, we will integrate our work into the full 3-phase SIT. And thanks for listening. Any question?
And we have a few minutes for questions, so if anybody has a question, please come up to the microphone and feel free to ask.
I'm Kojiro from Osaka Institute of Technology. I want to ask you about the virtual environment.
Yeah.
So there was a lady, I think she was a paramedic, and she was talking to the player.
Yeah.
But it's the voice given real time by the instructor, or it's a voice recorded previously?
Yeah, they are pre-recorded.
It's pre-recorded. Yeah. Because the conversation sounded very natural. So, but are you using some kind of voice recognition or something?
Yeah. Okay. If you remember the video, there is a context menu, right? Mm-hmm. That's what the trainer see, and the trainer used the context menu to respond to the trainee. So there is no AI or recognition.
So the instructor chooses the button when
right.
A player is giving a response.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
No problem.
I have another question for you. Did the participant have any other way of interacting with this? Were they enabled to do anything other than walk around and identify who to save? Were there other interactive components? And I guess if not, do you think the situation would change if you had more things for the participant to do?
Okay. Yeah, for the first question, I think that's pretty much the interaction. So the user can talk and can look around, can navigate the environment, and that's pretty much it. And for the second question, if the environment is more rich, right? It affect the result, you mean?
Yeah, just how would that scale? Do you think it would induce more stress, less stress, the same
Yeah.
amount of stress?
For me, I think that it should lead to more stress because the environment is even more immersive or more realistic, right? So I see no point in or reason to reduce the stress, but I'm not sure. Yeah, I have to.
Thank you.
Yeah, okay.